Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your stage, the host of the New Year's Eve pregame show, Jeff Ward.
Give it up for the lab, ladies and gentlemen. Got a couple of names I want to read off and give big shout outs to. Katie Termaline, Bernie C. Roberts, Anthony Campos, and Rob Camello. These are your evening artists. They're going to be up front. Everything you see is for sale, including them. Guys, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad y'all are here. Welcome to the pregame. This is so much fun. Y'all are going to start your DUIs here, and that is very fun. A little bit about me. My son just turned 9, which is a really fun age. They start getting a personality right about now, right? But he's not old enough he's not quite a teenager yet, you know what I mean? So he still does little kid shit. Like he pulls his underwear up way too high and just struts around the house. And I don't understand, it infuriates me, but he has a great time doing it. And it reminded me of being a little kid. Now, I don't do that shit. I'm a grown ass man. Sir, I mean, you get out of the shower, you put your underwear on. If that ankle goes up just a little bit too high, you get missed, I get missed. You get the fuck down here, dude. I ain't got time to be silly. I got Warhammer shit to pay. He struts around the house in my work boots. Got these pull-on work boots, and they're, he's a little bit shorter, so they go a little bit too tall. He struts around. Look at me, Dad. I'm like, you're weird, dude. He's like, yeah, they smell bad. We're like, dude, you're 9. You fucking smell bad. You know what I mean? Like, no difference. My ex-wife started dating a professional wrestler. That is real. You know what that means to a 9-year-old? That means fuck me. This dude has merch. There is no merch for you made hamburger helper 3 times this week. You know what I'm saying? I went and picked him up from Thanksgiving break. He was at his mom's. And for 2 hours on the way back to the house, he did nothing but talk this guy up. Amazing. How cool he is. How badass he is. His long hair, his fucking muscles. Bitch. This kid was so lucky that this state is flat. I was looking for a mountain to drive off of. Best I could do was a ditch, and it made my premium go up. So we get back to the house, I put him in bed, and I looked his new dad's videos up. Really appreciate the peanut gallery. That is nice. That is a nice little chuckle there. Okay, so he actually wrestled WWE. Now, he wasn't announced. He was the guy that was there when the commercial ended, but still, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I see this guy in his way too high up underwear, his tall ass boots, now I know where he gets it, and spitting water, pointing, yelling shit. I was like, I get it. Do you all know how hard it is for a dude in Texas to get custody of his son? It's almost impossible. You could probably fit every one of us in Texas that has primary custody in this entire room. No. That's rare. And it's even more rare when you lose custody, semi-voluntarily, to a professional fucking wrestler. It's 2 of us, and we're standing in the back of the room drinking vodka out of a fucking plastic bottle. Going, yeah, it is pretty cool. Android. Cool. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much. I am going to be here fucking around with y'all in between all the comedians. Your first comedian was rejected by Abercrombie and Fitch in high school, so he became the poster child for cargo pants and flip-flops. And he wanted me to read this. For all your flooring and carpeting needs, check out Refresh Cleaning Services. Give it up for Gorb Gorbinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Jeff. It's for all your carpet and comedy needs, but we'll overlook that. How's it going, lab? We're doing great tonight. We're high energy tonight. You know, I've been trying to spread the word about this event. You know, I went around town spreading flyers everywhere. I went to the park. All right, I went to the men's bathroom at Lucy Park. Long story short, I found a fucking glory hole in the bathroom. And I was hanging flyers, so the only thing I could think to do is just hang one at the level where the guy that's getting his dick sucked is just like, oh, fuck, oh, there's a comedy show. Looks interesting, oh. And then I hung one down low where the guy that's sucking dick is just like, oh, it's a comedy show. Where you want to go? I found out something interesting about myself recently. I burned my mouth on a hot piece of pizza, and I found out I make the same noises burning my mouth as I do during sex. So it's like, oh, hot. You know, there's a lot of pizza-related jokes tonight. You know, like I found out as a fat person, you know, like you get a pizza, they cut it, and there's always the one tiny slice. That's called the pocket slice. That's supposed to be pocketed and stored for later usage. And it makes me sick. You know, people go right for the pocket slice and deny me my mobile Italian portable snacks. It's disgusting. You know, a lot of pizza-related humor tonight, mainly because I'm used to doing stand-up in the Little Caesars parking lot for pepperoni scraps. You know. No, but I know a lot about being a fat person. I lost a little bit of weight recently, like 50 pounds. I used to weigh like 350 pounds, you know. And my rock bottom, like you got to hit rock bottom before you get better, right? In any addiction. My rock bottom of being a fat dude was I actually caught myself downloading the Whataburger app on my phone. Like it's not enough that I can just pull up to the drive-thru and see the menu there. No, I need constant hamburger information. It will be straight from space to my phone at any given instance. I get all excited. You know, like, oh yeah, the app is updating again. And the Chop House Burger is back. I sounded like that because my vocal cords were fatter back then. Like, my girl got with me before, like, after I lost all the weight. And she still doesn't understand why the management staff of CC's Pizza comes out to greet me every time I'm there. They're just like, sir, you should have called beforehand. We could have reserved you your favorite table by the TV. We could get a fresh pot of pasta sauce going, but this will take some time, sir. I hope you understand. I was so embarrassed by that. Like, I was somehow, like, less embarrassed. Like, I would be more embarrassed if I was at, okay, let me put it this way. I would be less embarrassed if I took my girl to a porn shop and the guy knew me there and he was like, oh, you're here for another cum receptacle, right? You're the guy that buys all the cum receptacles, like the little cup that you shove up your ass and collects all the loads from the dudes. I know you're him because you are him. Anyways, on a lighter note, more positive note, I find myself with health insurance for the first time in my life, really. I mean, since I was a kid. But it's never been a problem, you know? I've gotten free health care for years simply by not paying the bills, you know? A lot of people don't know. Medical bills are more like medical suggestions. You know, like, would you like to pay the $9,000 you owe us? How about no? You know, the worst thing they can do is lower your credit score. Mine is a 9. Okay, it's just like this guy was calling me up the other day, like, sir, if you don't pay down some of these medical bills, it could affect your credit scores. Like, you can't kill what's already dead, Stephen. You are talking to a credit score zombie right now. I was getting a 2-for-1 on my girl's health insurance. That's when she just tells her doctor whatever's wrong with you, and it got a little bit weird. I found out I had low T, and I'm like, baby, listen, you got to tell your doctor you want to transition. I need some testosterone right now. You want to get the dick going good again? I don't know what the fuck we were going to do when it came time for her 40-year colonoscopy. Because women don't have colons. I knew that one would hit. I got one of those clapper lights for my room, like clap on, clap off. You get it. Well, I didn't know this, but the clapper light responds to all claps, even cheap claps. So I'm just going at it. The lights are going on and off, like a strobe light at a rave. And then my girl's like, oh, and I think the dick's doing a good job, right? Nah, bitch was having a seizure. My girl wanted to do role play, and I got a problem because I'm really bad at role play. I'm a horrible actor, and she wanted to do like a sheriff kind of like criminal thing. I'm like, well, little missy. Looks like you got a bounty out on your pussy. Let's see what the reward is. Looks like it's also your pussy. And she said I was banned from like coming up with the scenarios for the role play because she said it was like way like long drawn out scenarios, like intertwining storylines. I'm like, listen, baby, I'm a Nazi. You're a Jewish girl that helped escape from the concentration camp because our love has turned me away from Hitlerism. And now all the other Germans are after us and the Russians are coming. They really want to kill us. And the only thing that's keeping us alive is sex. Hot sex. My girl's, she's into the whole daddy thing, which I love. But I found out the other day, the daddy thing does not work both ways. Like we're going at it, she's like, oh, daddy. I'm like, oh, daughter. She just stopped. She said, you got to cut that shit out right the fuck now. But she asked for a daddy, like I just lectured her about proper lawn care for 30 minutes. She wanted a daddy, she found a father. My girl's fantastic though, the only problem is she hates my dog. She cannot stand my dog, but I understand it, because he takes my side in all the arguments. Like she'll be yelling at me like, you need to do this. And then I'll hear it out of the corner of the room, never fails. And then something amazing happens. Like all her anger and energy focuses from me to this dog. She starts yelling at him instead of me. I treat this dog like a mob boss treats a guy that's doing prison time for him. I'm sneaking him little treats through the bars of his cage. I'd like to thank you for the favor tonight. Now, my girl, she was telling me about this thing called a she shed, basically, and I was like, are you telling me that I could just build a box and put it in the backyard and you'll just go in there and leave me the fuck alone? Like, Baby, I wanted this to be a surprise, but I built it while you were telling me about it. It's right over there. Go. My girl's great, though. You know, I give her a lot of shit. You know, like her car has a backup camera, and she was using it the other day. She said, "I love this backup camera so much. I wish the car had a front camera." I said, "Well, baby, the front camera is supposed to be your eyes. But even if the car did have a front camera, I could completely see her driving like this, looking at that little screen instead of out the windshield. And then we both crash into a tree and die because I found out a way to put Mario Kart on the motherfucker. I like to play Wii while I drive. It helps my anxiety, you know. I'm just weaving in and out of traffic like..." I lost my job recently. It was probably the worst instance of me losing my job because I like to vape at work. Who here likes to do that? It's like one of the best things at work. You know, you get to hit your vape, you sneak off into a corner. We had an elevator. From the bottom floor to the top floor, I could hit my vape twice, and there was still enough time for the smoke to clear. I timed it out. Well, I seriously misjudged my ability to do that because I blew out a huge cloud of smoke, and then the elevator just stops all of a sudden. The door's open, and it's my boss. And the only excuse I could think of at the time was the dumbest excuse I could think of at the time, which was, "Oh my God, are you seeing this? It's a ghost. I'm out of here, man." And like, I pushed him out of the way, and I really wanted this guy to think that I saw a ghost, so I just ran out of the building, went home, and never came back. Speaking of ghosts, though, we recently found out my house is haunted. We know 3 things. 1, it's a ghost. 2, it's a man ghost. And 3, it is gay as fuck. It all started very subtly. We'd come home and all the TVs would be switched to the Oxygen Network. Copies of GQ magazine would materialize out of seemingly nothingness. It all culminated when my roommate James was assaulted by the spirit. It blew him. And I'm upset about this, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, I'm at the house all the time. I'm classically handsome. Why James? We attempted to contact the spirit through a seance, or as a gayance in this instance, which is like a regular seance, but with dessert wine and Madonna playing in the background. All he had to say was, "Boo." I've come to terms over the years to the fact that I am a hoarder. I'm a registered hoarder because there's an entire room in my house that I cannot access because of all the shit that I've bought over the years. Like, I have 9 copies of Jerry Maguire. I've never even seen that fucking movie. But ironically enough, I went to go sell off some of this stuff at the same flea market I bought it in, right? And I learned something about the flea market. You can sell something for 1 penny, 1 cent USD, and some motherfucker is gonna try to argue over that. Like, 1 penny, I can't see it. I'm thinking more 2 paper clips and a dead moth I found in my pocket. That seems reasonable to me. Yeah, a good friend of mine, he just got into a new relationship with this girl. You know, he was kind of telling me about her a little bit. He said she's a witch, though, you know. And I was with a girl that was a witch before, you know. Like, I was kind of telling him what he's in for. Like, I woke up to this chick, like, burning incense over my head. So naturally, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? She said, "I'm exorcising the demon that makes you argue with me." So I just kind of ran with it. I'm just like, yes. 'Twas the demon that called you a cunt last week. There are many of us. Let me go get the demon that tells you to clean up after yourself.
You stack pizza boxes on top of the trash can instead of taking them out to the dumpster.
Ladies, like, listen, there is way too much pressure by society for you guys to, always be wearing nice things and wearing makeup. It's all bullshit. You're all beautiful, and I love you. But having said that now, guys, we gotta watch the fuck out. Because these women have advanced makeup technology that can turn their face into another fucking face. Like, every time I go home with a woman, it'd be like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode. Like, she wasn't hot at all, gang. It was actually Kevin Costner. Velma comes out of nowhere. She was actually using an elaborate system of ropes and pulleys to make it appear as if she actually had an ass. That's another thing we gotta worry about, boys. Fake asses. And I'm not talking about what Nicki Minaj has. This is like an ass strap that they put on like underneath their pants. I can only imagine how disappointing it'd be bringing home one of these things. Like, you see that ass out on the dance floor, you can't wait to get it home. Then it finally comes to that magic moment. You get her back to the house, get her to the room, the lights go out, you go in for a smack. All you feel is a warm, soft frisbee. On another note, though, I heard apparently condom technology has just advanced by leaps and bounds over the years. I was reading about this condom that just came out. It starts glowing bright red when it senses that somebody has an STD. I just imagine buying these things, completely forgetting what they do, and then I go to pull out. It's like Darth Vader turned on his lightsaber, like in the dark. Okay, maybe Darth Vader's lightsaber is a little too big of a comparison. It's like if Darth Vader turned on his cheese knife, because it's small and it curves at the end. I like reading about like strange laws throughout the country. Like, there are several states in the United States where it is completely legal to be nude in public. The only caveat is if you're a man, your dick cannot be hard. You can't have a hard dick in public or they can arrest you. And I'm just wondering how they police this shit. Like, I just imagine two cops rolling up on some guy. It's 4 a.m. They're shotting lights at him. Like, I want you to turn around real slow. Let me see that dick. Kind of looks a little chubby to me. Very suspect. Tell you what, I'm gonna do a lap around the block. By the time I get back, that thing better be drooping like a windsock that's been dipped in cement. Nobody gets a hard dick on my streets. On my beat. I went to the doctor the other day and I said, you know what? I'm just going to get checked for every fucking thing in the book. And when you ask for that, they give you this long-ass questionnaire to fill out. Like, I want these guys to do a good job. I want these guys to be thorough. So I just answered yes to everything. Like, have you ever had anal sex with and or been a gay prostitute? Absolutely. Have you ever had a blood transfusion prior to 1987? Every day. Have you ever been to the continent of Africa? If so, explain. Well, I was in an anal same-sex relationship as a prostitute in Africa. We were using blood packets from 1987 as lube. And I gave it back to the doctor. He did the most disturbing thing I've ever seen a doctor do. He took the chart and he walked out of the room backwards. And he locked the door behind him. I thought I was going to be in a CDC containment facility after that. No, I was just kidding around about that, but I really did go to the doctor. And I found out my old doctor retired. The new doctor, he's like 26 years old. But I get it, right? Like, nobody trusts a young doctor. I said, I'm going to give this kid a chance. I gave this kid a chance, and this motherfucker sent me my lab results on Snapchat. And it was all written in emojis, too, like, plus sign, sad face, gravestone. What the fuck does that mean? He's like, 100, no cap. You got hepatitis. But I have more of a positive personality anyway, so we're going to turn this hepatitis into happy-titis, am I right? I always wanted to be a doctor. You know, I always thought, like, being a doctor back in the day, it'd be the easiest job in the world. A doctor in the 1800s, just like you show up, like, all right, patient has a fever, throwing up, diarrhea. Do what we do, just throw leeches all over them, see what happens. You know, like, okay, that didn't work. Set him on fire. Okay, that didn't work. He's probably a witch. And you should pay me anyways. Payment. No, guys, it's been a real honor coming out here doing stand-up tonight. Been doing stand-up comedy for 10 years now. And it's kind of like, it's finally coming to fruition a little bit. It's kind of bringing a little bit of teardrop to my eye even talking about this. But for the first time in my life, the money I make from stand-up can fully, completely pay for all of my vapes. I know. It's beautiful. I'm just hoping that here in another 10, 15 years, possibly 20, I can afford to go back to cigarettes. Thank you, Lab. Good night.
Give it up for Gorb one more time, y'all. Give it up for Gorb. Isn't he sad? I bought a used trailer for him. It came with the net. Your next comedian tonight. A little bit about him. My dad saw him buying an electric weed eater at Target and promptly called me and told me I had any better friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon DeMoss.
Approaching me, she said, I never seen a man who looks so all alone. Or could you use a little company? If you pay the right price, your evening will be nice and you can.
Hey, how's it going? Can you okay? Is the sound okay? Sound okay? I've been drinking white monsters and whiskey all night, so I just feel like fucking dancing a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for spending the New Year's with us. I really appreciate it. The only thing I hate about the New Year's is fucking tax season. Right? Doing taxes, I hate doing taxes every year because every year I use TurboTax and every year is the same. It's like, hey, did you go to college? No. Did you buy a house? No. Did you get married? No. Did you have children? No. Are you okay? Well, fuck TurboTax. I was starting to feel a little depressed. Jesus. But I am 38. I've never been married, and I do not have kids, which means my parents are starting to freak out a little bit, you know. It's funny because when I was growing up, every time I would go out, my parents would be like, hey, be safe, don't get anybody pregnant. Every time I'd go out as a teenager, be safe, don't get anybody pregnant. Which I think my parents greatly overestimated my getting laid abilities in high school. I had acne, braces, and did theater. I wasn't beating them off with a stick, you know. They were in a dark alleyway waiting to jump out at me like, hey, get out of here, vagina. Fucking watch out. Another issue that I have is the type of women that I'm into, you know. I like them loud with too much makeup and a low credit score. Type of girl that, yeah, she may have a felony, but it's been a while. You know, she's not still on probation. Like, it's all right. Look, if I have to make sure my debit card is still in my wallet when you leave my place, fucking marry me. Same thing, right? Dating is weird now, right? People are into weird things. I recently had somebody ask me to spit in their mouth. I don't know when that became a thing. I will say, if you're gonna do that, you should probably remember to take your Copenhagen out. Yeah, they'll get a little fussy if you forget. I try to do the right thing, you know. When I try to be a good guy and I try to do the right thing, right? But recently I was at a strip club and I had a deaf stripper ask me if I want a lap dance. And I wasn't too sure what to do, right? Because I thought, if I get a lap dance from a deaf stripper, is that perpetuating the patriarch, right? But if I allow a deaf stripper to give me a lap dance, is that providing an equal opportunity? I don't know what the correct answer is, but I can say she was a little offbeat. This was a little bit offbeat there. Who can blame her, though, right? Who can blame her? I grew up in a small town, right? In the kind of small town, the only famous people there are the guy that drove a lawnmower everywhere and a serial killer. Like, that was the only famous people in my town. And dating can be hard in a small town because when you find a girl that you like, before you kiss her, you got to stop, call your parents, and ask if you're related, you know. But then you can ask, like, okay, how close are we related? Because where I come from, if you can't kiss a fifth cousin, you ain't kissing anybody. That's why I'm pro-immigration, get some new blood in there, you know. Make family reunions a lot less awkward. Plus, it is hard to ghost a cousin because that bitch still shows up for Christmas. Like, fucking stop inviting her, Grandma. I don't know why I think that joke is so funny. My cousins, not so much. They stopped showing up at my comedy shows. I'm like, it's just jokes, Susan. Also, you look pretty good tonight. Not gonna lie. Last date I went on, I peed my pants. Now, I didn't piss my pants. Let me explain. I peed when I thought I was done and zipped up. My dick was like, hey, here's a little more, you know? Which apparently is something that happens in guys in their 40s and women who've had kids. We just walking around with a little pee in our pants all the fucking time. Yeah. I didn't know that, right? I thought something was wrong. But I was real embarrassed. You know, I had light jeans on, this pee spot. There was no hiding it. But then I thought, this is a pretty good test, you know? If you're out on a first date, pee your pants a little bit, right? Because a girl sees that and it doesn't bother her, then that's a woman that can look past a lot of your shortfalls, right? And if you've been with a girl for a while, the next time you want to go out and you want to know if she's marriage material, shit your pants. Trust me, right? If you shit your pants and a girl leaves you because of it, fuck her, you don't need her, let her go. But if she causes a distraction so you can sneak out without anybody noticing, that's a woman you can count on. That's a partner for life. So if any of you are out there and you want to know, just shit your pants. Maybe not tonight because we'll all fucking know if somebody stands up and starts yelling. Not tonight. Try it out. I'm just saying. Speaking of pissing, do you ever be in a stall and have some guy peeing beside you and you get jealous of how strong his stream is? Maybe not everybody. When you get like almost 40, you'll fucking understand. Right? I'm over here sounding like the lazy river. This dude's like the roaring rapids over here. And I don't know when that changed. Like when I was a kid, you know, you would check and see how far back you could piss in the urinal. I could do it from half the bathroom, right? I could piss backwards into the urinal, right? Now I have to get up close, make sure I don't drip on my shoes. Like I don't know when that changed. Just getting older is depressing. So I don't know what's going on, but recently I keep accidentally asking out lesbians. Yeah, I just see a girl with a baseball hat on, and I'm like, fancy meeting you here at this softball tournament. Yeah. I was out with one girl, and it was her second date, right? In the middle of the second date, she goes, I think I like women. I'm like, you just now figured that fucking out, Jessica? I think we're going to split this bill. That's what I think, right? Another time, I took this girl out. I did not know she was gay at the time. Looking back, there was definitely signs, you know. But I took her out to the circus because I'm a romantic guy, you know. Fucking. And the first sign was after the circus, she goes, hey, do you get grossed out easily? And I was like, no. And she goes, fucking touch this. She pulled out her shorts. And when I touched it, she goes, that's my butt sweat. And just laughed in my face. The second sign was when she showed me pictures of her ex-girlfriend. But I was still like, hey, you never know. It's fucking maybe a chance. But it was going good, and then we were at her place, and it was getting late, and I was like, if I'm going to make a move, fucking now's the chance, right? You know? And I look over at her, and she's sitting like this. She's like this. And I thought, well, maybe I'm not her type, you know. But it was cool. We became really good friends. She became one of my best friends, right? And it's great. She buys me beers all the time. She tries to pay for dinner every time we go out. She always likes to drive. She even calls me her passenger princess. Like, fucking. I'm like, yo, this girl has got better game than me. Also, these straight bitches better 7-Up, Greg. A little bit. Yeah, she's actually here tonight, so, you know, if any of you are looking for a gentlewoman, she's over there. So, complete random thing. Whatever happened to tapeworms? You know, when I was a kid, you'd always hear these stories on the news. It'd be like, this guy, he'd eat all the time, never gaining any weight. Come to find out, he had like a 30-foot tapeworm in him. And when I was a kid, that would scare the shit out of me, you know? But as an adult, I'm like, should have kept the fucking tapeworm. You can eat anything you want, never get any weight. They say you can get it by stepping in dog shit. I've been walking around my backyard for a month barefoot, trying to get on that tapeworm diet. They call it a parasite. I call that a symbiotic relationship. I feed him, it doesn't make me look 6 months pregnant anymore. That'd be great. I think what's wrong with this generation, like these young people coming up, is they didn't have crazy ass uncles that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you know. Like if you didn't learn the back roads of your town from driving around with your uncle who was avoiding the cops, so he didn't get his third DWI, like who taught you how to drive, you know what I mean? Like getting dropped off at your uncle's house, like that single uncle that was only like 21, was the best time ever. He's like, I don't have toys, but I do have these ninja throwing stars. You can have fun in the backyard. I'm like, this is just the best day ever. He's like, I don't have cartoons, but I do have UFC 1 and 2 on VHS. I'm like, I fucking love this, right? But those uncles are important, right? Because those uncles will teach you life lessons that your parents are not going to teach you. Like if you happen to get arrested, this is how commissary works. Yeah. If you shoot your gun off in the front yard, you might not make it to Thanksgiving this year, right? So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my face or what it is, but people tell me weird shit all the time, and I don't know why. One time I was at the bar, and this girl walks up to me, and she goes, "Hey, do you know if you have an STD and you sleep with a guy and you don't tell him if that's illegal?" I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is." And she just goes, "Shit," and walks off, right? The worst part is she looked awfully familiar, so I don't know if it was like... Another time, I was at the doctor's office, and across from me, there was like a 70-year-old man, right? And after about 10 minutes, he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Pretty good. How are you, sir?" He goes, "I'm doing all right. How's my tits look?" Now, in 2024, that might not be that weird of a question, but in 2016, that shit threw me through a loop. I said, "Well, excuse me, sir, what did you just say to me?" And he goes, the doctor put me on these hormones. Now I'm growing tits. I was just wondering how they look." I said, "First of all, sir, stop pressing them together like that. And second, pretty perky for a man your age. I ain't even gonna lie about it." That's my time for tonight. My name is Brent DeMoss. I just want to say, though, thank y'all very much for spending your New Year's with us. And whatever you do afterwards, please be safe and have a happy, happy New Year's, guys. Thank you.
Give it up for Brandon DeMoss. What a silly hat. There's only one of those CIA drones that's hanging out in Wichita Falls, and it's hanging out over your next comedian's house. I can guarantee it. He's gonna be at Hyenas Fort Worth in January on the 18th. So please give it up for Mr. Brent Maples.
All right, Wichita Falls, how we doing? I was kind of hoping somebody would eventually make their way up and sit by us up here. Well, we'll get to it. No, actually, it's not even a cool story, you know. I worked all weekend on call, and then I was like, you know what? This branch that's been over my walkway for 6 fucking months is getting on my nerves right now. So I got a ladder out. And honestly, let me just tell you the truth is my wife got me a Milwaukee battery chainsaw, if you want to know. And I was pretty pumped about it, right? I wanted it. And then I didn't use it. And she was like, "Hey, you wanted that nice Milwaukee and you haven't used it yet, right?" So that's the last thing that went through my head on a Sunday evening when it was dark by myself. When I grabbed that ladder, hit that one branch, and it rolled in and knocked the ladder out from under me. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the story. Thanks for asking, you know. Thanks for asking. But honestly, like, I got this on a Sunday night, and then 3 days later, I got my braces off, so that was fun, dude, you know, because I'm like 40, and braces at my age tells you one thing, that I was poor as a kid, dude, you know. I was, too. You don't just wake up and need braces one day, right, you know? Honestly, the doctor there, like, "Hey, you should probably..." I went to the dentist when I was a kid, and he was like, "You should probably wait." And I was like, "How long? My mouth is messed up." And he was like, "Until you can afford it, right? You know, until you can afford it." Here I am, though, getting better every day. Look at me. But, yeah, I don't know. Christmas is over, New Year's is here, right? You know? And so that means that, like, now I have to, like, switch up my whole parenting style, right? You know what I mean? For the last few months, I've been on, like, "Hey, dude, Santa's not gonna like that shit." You know what I mean? Now it's back to beating him. That's actually how I broke mad. You know what I mean? I got a lot of crazy friends, man. Anybody getting crazy tonight? At first, I didn't think they were. I thought this was a tame crowd, but maybe anybody get crazy? It's New Year's, right? You know? I had a crazy buddy at work. He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, would you suck a dick for $1 million?" And at first, I'm like, "No, man, I'm good on that, right?" You know what I mean? Which, you know, you start thinking about it, and that's a lot of money for a few minutes worth of work, right? You know? And, you know, you get to go buy your kid anything you want right now, and you know you're buying some cool shit if you suck a dick for money, right? You're buying a go-kart, you know what I mean? A pontoon boat, right? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, your kid's the cool kid in the neighborhood, right? Flexing in front of all of his friends. It's like, "Damn, Jeremy, where'd you get that? You got a in-ground pool? Fast boat? Go-kart?" I said, "Dude, my dad sucked a dick and bought me all of this, son. All this. You're lucky. Wish my dad would suck a dick, dude. I could use a go-kart right about now, man. Could use one, right?" That's crazy. Hold on. What about this? Would you suck a dick to stay out of jail?
To do what?
If you were going to jail for 5 years, whether you did it or not,
To stay out of jail.
to stay out of jail. That's one of those questions. Like, money is like, it depends, right? Like, if I'm broke, there ain't nothing gay about putting food on the table. You know what I mean? But if I'm just like, you know what? I need to upgrade this pontoon. There might be a little something there, right? You know?
I ain't got no kids.
But I mean, you ain't got to be doing it for kids, you know what I mean? But what about jail? You ain't got anybody, you know? That's one of those things that I think I would think about, right? You know? Because as soon as a guy like me gets to jail, I'm probably going to end up sucking one anyways, right? You know what I mean? So if I get a chance to suck one to stay out of it, I'll do it. I think I just made that decision there. I don't know. I've been married 10 years, got 4 kids, dude. And that's a lot, dude. Honestly, this is the first time in a while I've done a show when I said that and people hadn't said shit. You know what I mean? Y'all got some kids? Who's got more than 4 kids out here? Nobody? Fuck all y'all then. I don't even care. You know what I mean? It's a lot. And it ain't like dogs where they're like, "Hey, once you have 2, what's 3? What's 4, right?" No, once you got 2, you notice 3 and 4. I swear to God, man. And I had 3 girls in a row. I just had a boy, dude. I say he's 2 now, right? You know what I mean? I had 3 girls in a row, and we had gender reveal parties for every kid. And it was just like, bing, bing, bing. I was getting over it, dude. I was over it. I didn't even want to do the last one. The last girl gender reveal party we had was a piñata, dude. And you know what I mean? You know how depressing it is to bust pink out of a piñata on the 3rd one? I don't even think there's any candy in the son of a bitch, dude. You know what I mean? Just paper. Just paper. But the last one we did for my son, you know what I mean? We're going to do a simple one. Easy on me, right? A cake. You cut it, it's pink or blue. We get there, and I'm about to cut. My daughter, she's 6 at the time, she looks up and she's like, "Dad, I hope it's chocolate, man." I was like, "Babe, what's that mean if it's chocolate, you know?" She said, "Well, you know, he's going to be more athletic and have a bigger dick, you know?" I said, "That ain't even funny, right, you know?" But then I started thinking about my athletic ability and my dick, and I was like, "Shit, I'm craving chocolate too, girl." He calls me dad, dude. All right, you know? All right. Well, I don't know.
It was the right cut.
All right, let's see. I have been thinking about some weird shit since I had a kid. I was wondering how getting a drink was going to go when I got up here, you know? Fucking flawless, right? I have been thinking about weird shit, though, man. You think a guy with a micro penis believes in God? That's just something I was thinking, right? You know what I mean? I think he's mad, or he's completely Christian, right? You know what I mean? There's a purpose for this. You know? What about this? You think a guy with a micro penis who's having a son, and by the way, it has nothing to do with my situation, right? You know what I mean? Nothing to do with me. You think a guy with a micro penis who's having a son hopes that his son has a normal penis? I mean, we're supposed to want bigger and better things than we had for our kids. You know, am I right? But I'll be damned if my toddler is going to dick shame me in my own house. You know what I mean? That ain't happening. Lose a little bit of my soul every time I change his diaper, right? You know? I'm proud as hell. But I'm dying inside, you know? And you can never let him know his dick's bigger than yours, you know? The respect is gone. You know? It's like, hey, Junior, I thought I asked you to take that trash out, you know? And it's like, damn it, Dad, you little dick motherfucker. I told you I'm going to get to it later, you know? I mean, hit another match. I'll try to get to it, you know? And he's got that energy about him. What are you going to do, right? Like, well, you know, I'm going to ask you again later, Junior. You better have a better attitude. You big dick motherfucker, you know? All right. Let's see. Let's see what I can do for you guys here. Y'all don't seem to get too lively with me here. I do have a 2-year-old son. He's in daycare and all that, right? You know, and he started doing this right here more. Have y'all seen this? Anybody got any kids? Y'all seen that? First time I hadn't seen it. First time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, he's on the spectrum, dude. You know, that's next level, you know? My wife said, no, they taught him that at daycare, dude. And I said, they can teach autism? That's crazy. It blew my mind. Dude. I said, they ought to work more on not shitting in his pants, dude. That would be great, dude. That would help so much right now. Tired of changing diapers. Tired of changing them, man. I've been married 10 years, though, man. And marriage is hard. I think anybody can agree. But it's harder on some than others. Like in my case, I married a woman that eats pineapples on her pizza. And guys, that was an issue at first, right? Then I found out my buddy's wife, she got caught fucking like 3 of her coworkers. And I was like, you know what? I might have overreacted about the pineapples, you know what I mean? I can get over that other shit. But no, you got to keep it interesting, right? You got to mix it up. You got to have fun when you've been married that long. So me and my wife, we talked about it. And we went out and we bought a bunch of wigs, dude. We bought like 3 wigs each, and we started going on dates as different people. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but that's where it's at, dude. Hey, you can get away with a lot as somebody else, right? It wasn't even me, it was Steve. It's fucking Steve. You know Steve, right? You know? But I got carried away with it one night. We got home, and I was, you know, had a few drinks in me, still in costume, which is cool. I don't even dress up for Halloween. And I looked at my wife, her name is Amy, and I was like, hey, babe, I know Amy doesn't like anal, but how's Susan feel about it, you know? How's Susan? She says, Amy and Susan, they don't fucking like it, right? Big surprise. I said, well, Brent respects that. But he ain't fucking here tonight. You know what I mean? Steve don't give a shit, you know? I'm kidding. Steve's tomorrow, you know? Steve's not allowed in the pizza joint anymore, dude. Fucking pulled his dick out and forgot to put it away. For Tim's birthday. All right, let's see. Me and my wife, though, we were watching a romantic comedy recently. And the couple, after, you know, dinner, they got up and they cleaned the kitchen together, and it was cute, right? And she was like, babe, that's cute. That's cute. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? And I was like, well, you know, our kitchen is smaller. It's, you know, it's more of a one-person kitchen, right? But I know I fucked up, because a week later, in the middle of July, 100 degrees, we're driving, I look over and I see this man. He's 100 years old, and he's mowing his yard. And his wife, she's 100 out there with him, weed eating, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, babe, that's cute. That's cute. Why can't we do that? You know what I mean? And she was like, it's our yard. It's more of a one-person yard, you know? But I know if I'd have just got my ass up and cleaned the kitchen, I'd have had a weed eater in that bitch's hands, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right, so I've been kind of tame on you guys. We're gonna do some. We'll do a couple weird. I'm just kidding. This one's kind of fun. I don't think I've ever done this other than like one of the open mics, but it's fun. I grew up in a house full of girls, man, just like I do now, right? You know, it's just constant always, right? But I had sisters, no brothers. single mom. And we had a lot of scented lotions and conditioners around the house at a time when that was cool and crucial, right? You know what I mean? And they say that memories are tied to scents. And I believe it, dude. I was at Walmart smelling some conditioners, and I had that Suave conditioner, dude. And I had a flashback, and there I was, 15 years old, holding my dick in the shower, dude. And when I flashed out of it, I was at Walmart holding a 15-year-old's dick. I was like, God damn, dude, what happened? You can't explain that to a judge, dude. It's a fucking sense and the memories. It's, I was, that's why I don't do that one everywhere, right? We'll try this. We got a little bit of time left. I went to Mexico recently on the beach, and I had a good old time, right? And I love Mexicans, dude. Mexicans are hard workers from a young age, you know what I mean? From a young age. And I'm raising kids. I'm like, how can I, right? You know what I mean? What can I do? And I realized what they do is they put like chili powder in their candy. And the kids are like, fuck, I'm gonna get them to go to work today. I don't even want to be a kid anymore. This ain't even fun. I'm gonna get up and go to work so I can make money for nose candy, right? You know what I mean? The real candy. Candy that built this country, dude. But no, dude, it was fun, man. And with that. And I went without my kids, so you can imagine it was fun, dude. I miss living room sex, dude. I don't even get to do that kind of shit anymore, dude. So we were there by ourselves, and I'm just naked laying on everything I can, because I can. You know what I mean? Uncomfortable or not, right? And we started getting weird, and I was like, hey, you want to sit on my face? And I forgot we was in Mexico, dude, because she was like, hey, aren't you worried I might fart in your face? I was well, I fucking wasn't, right? You know what I mean? I wasn't. Now, kind of, just a little. She thought I was being weird. I stuck a finger in her ass, dude. I was just plugging it, man. I was just plugging it, dude. That's what they mean. It ain't even sexual. It's to help you, dude. I said, didn't you pack a snorkel? Give me that motherfucker. No, we didn't do that. That's how it would have been, but she said some dumb shit, so we couldn't, right? You know what I mean? I just went swimming. Shit, I'm gonna go snorkel. All right, well, guys, I appreciate it. Y'all been fun. My name's Brent Maples. That's my time.
Brent Maples was fine when he showed up. He heard his hand dapping me up for my opening set. Guys, we're gonna take a quick intermission. HermAnthony is gonna play a couple more songs. Thank you so much for coming out. We got 2 more comedians when we come back. Please go grab yourself a beer. I am so sorry the taco truck blew up. There was something to do with some diarrhea. It do what it do, so stay away from the taco truck. But please, go check out some artwork. Like I said, everything is available. HermAnthony, take it away, boys.
lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass. Remembering games and daisy chains and laughs. Got to keep the movies on the path. The lunatic is in my home. The lunatics are in my home. The paper holds the folded faces to the floor. And every day the paper boy brings more. And if the dam bursts open many years too soon, it's no room upon the hill. And if your head explodes in dark cabooses too, see you on the dark side of the moon. The lunatic is in my hand. The lunatic is in my hand. You raise the blame, you make the change, you rearrange me till I'm sane. You lock the door, throw away the key. Someone in my head, but it's not me. And if the cloud bursts, thunder in your ears, you shout, but no one seems to hear. Hey, hey, hey. out. It's also called Junior. Hope you enjoy. Thank you everybody for being here and Happy New Year.
Thank you. We are HermAnthony and the Side Effects.
Hey, everybody, have a good night.
right, y'all chill out. Let me do my job. All right, the next guy cannot count to 7 unless he's naked. Give it up. Give him a standing O because he cannot. Give it up for Israel Goldman, everybody. Yeah, Goldman!
Fast over lover, always hiding in your covers, gonna talk to you about it, say. Said you ain't seen nothing, take you down on the muffin, then you sure to be a change my ways.
Everybody give it up for my right-hand man right there. Helps me take care of things. I'm actually Brent Maples' sponsor now. Going to welcome him to the handicapped community. 2024 was pretty wild year. My daughter, my oldest daughter, came out to me, and now she's getting married. And she told me she met the woman she met is a gold star lesbian. Does anybody here know what a gold star lesbian is? You know what that is? It's a woman that's never had any dick, right? Yeah. Well, I told my daughter, I said, well, that's pretty good, but, you should have shopped around a little bit, Find you a bronze star lesbian. A chick only took in the ass, But yeah, I can only count to 7 unless I'm naked. In the winter, I learn fractions, 6.5, 6 1/4. I'm from Lawton. Everybody knows where Lawton is? That's good. I don't need to ride home after this. As you imagine, hitchhiking here was a bitch. Nope. Nope. A little more luck putting this thumb out on the way back. I got to read my notes because I pre-gamed a little too hard here. Smoked a little bit too much weed, but I'm glad 2024 is over. It was pretty wild. We re-elected Donald Trump. Had UFOs and drones. It was all pretty wild. I'm a Democrat. So it was a rough year for me. I'm a bit of a left wing. I got a friend. He's a hardcore Republican, and we used to fight and argue about politics. But now I take a step back and I look at things from his point of view. Try to think of things a little bit different. And one day he said, Donald Trump, I know he got indicted and might go to jail, but he did good things for our country. I was like, well, I guess that's like Jeffrey Dahmer. I know he killed people and ate them, but at least our homeless population was under control. It's just how you look at things. You're looking at the original Fast Pass to Six Flags right here. Y'all remember my family and I, we could go through the exits at Six Flags, so I dressed just like this, And people be griping and bitching. And when I was a kid, and I would get cussed out for going through the exits, I get my feelings hurt. But now that I'm older, somebody starts bitching about me going through the exits. I'm like, you know what? If you don't like it, don't send me to war. You're welcome for your freedom. They don't know. They don't know if I've been in the army or not. They don't spend the day with some good old-fashioned patriotic guilt. It's good for you. I recently realized I'm transvertical. I take my legs off, I'm like that tall, I'm like a part-time midget. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a full transition to being a midget or not. But, being a midget is tough. Elevators smell different, to midgets. We watch a different kind of porn. I watched Itty Bitty Gangbang a couple of nights ago. It's one of my favorites. My favorite part is when Bridget the Midget was about to go up on this full-size chick. I got a little horny, so I was going to rub one out. I'm going to take my legs off first. It's midget porn. I'm not a weirdo. So I'm going to take my legs off, get ready to rub one out, and I forgot I took a Viagra. I got stuck like this for like 30 minutes, just standing there. It was a little rough. Oh, a lot of people ask me how this happened. I'll go ahead and tell you, it happened when I was a young waiter at Olive Garden. There was a nasty cheese grating accident. The customer never said when. Just never said when. Fucker loved his cheese. But he did save something for the ladies. Oh, yeah. I call it the tool. You know, it's like a backup for the champ, you know. After a 2-minute warning, I just swap them out real quick. You know, give them a break. Give them time to wind down, a little time to get a second wind. Anybody here like to smoke weed? Oh, yeah. I love it. I'm from Oklahoma, so I got my weed card. And one of my favorite dispensaries has the strain of the day. And one time I went in there and they had a weed strain called Obama. You know, so I had to smoke it. I took it home and loaded a bowl of Obama, and it was pretty good. I was pretty laid back, pretty relaxed, calm. And then a couple of days later, they had Trump was the strain of the day. So I wanted to smoke the Trump, you know. So I went home, smoked the Trump. It was a little bit different. It hit different. And I shit my pants and started chasing brown people out of the neighborhood. A little bit different. I finally got my Indian name. It swims in a circle. Really proud of that. My full name is Israel Jacob Goldman. I get my Jewy name from my dad's side. My mom, she was Kiowa. You know, she was native, so I buy my liquor wholesale. Yeah. But a lot of people ask me, you know, if you're Jewish, you know, which I'm not, but how come you don't have any money? I thought Jews were rich, you know. I tell them we used to have some Jew money. You know, we had some Goldman money. My grandpa, he was a moil. Everybody here know what a moil is? Yeah, that's the rabbi that does the circumcision. Yeah, my grandpa was a moil, and he would sell the foreskins outside of gay bars for chewing gum. You know, made a little extra money. It was a little gamey. Try to blow a bubble. Oh, shit. I tell people I'm Jewish from the waist down. I got a short dick and cheap shoes. Man, I can't believe I apologize. I got a little too high for this one. But yeah, did y'all see where them Jews were digging tunnels in New York? Did y'all see that? Yeah, I call them the Junies. Yeah, we'll do anything to avoid paying that subway fare. Yeah. Yeah, I call them the Junies. You know, hey, you goys. Y'all know what a goy is, right? That's a non-Jew. I don't know what to speak of Jew. They, you know, growing up this way, I missed out on a lot of things. You know, like jump rope. Guess which hand? All right, fuck, how about now? But, you think I'd be a champion at thumb wrestling. You know, he's so much bigger, you know, unpinnable. But, you ever see them people that are too big and with no athletic ability? That's kind of what he's like, you know. Kind of big for nothing. Well, not big for nothing, ladies. You know, he's big for something. You know that thing, here's the church, here's the steeple. I open the door and she's the preacher. Hanging out. But I did start doing shadow puppets. I'm going to show y'all my favorite. It's E.T. with the heart on. We'll see what the light's like. But it's E.T. with the heart on. Y'all ready?
You gotta go close to the light. You gotta go to the light. To the light. No, like right here.
Like somewhere will cast a shadow.
Hang on. We are loading.
Bone home. That took a lot of work. Fucking wore out, man. God damn, I can't do that. I'm tired as hell. Yeah, where was we at? I turned 52 last year. You know, and like I said, a lot of things have changed. And so I'm gonna go into 2025 trying things out. You know, try to experiment a little bit. I even thought about being gay. You know, I can't get that reach. I can't get that reach around quite figured out. Yeah. But until then, we'll see what happens. Because I've even been thinking about, you know, even the trans women starting to look pretty good. You know, I get confused at my age, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get on in. You know, find all about it. You know, because like when I was growing up, it was like we had lines like, "You come here often." You know, what's your sign? But now it's like a post-op or pre-op. Yeah. Which that's a deal breaker to me. I won't even eat an apple with a stem on it. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, anybody here? I don't know if it's the right crowd for it or not, but anybody here ever tried eating ass? Oh, this is a better crowd, yeah. That's a big deal now. So, like I said, I'm trying new things. I even thought I would try it. You know, I ate ass for the first time a couple of nights ago, and she enjoyed it. You know, she had a great time, but for me, it was a little rough. It was pretty embarrassing. The ambulance ride was really horrible. That's a rough way to find out you got a peanut allergy. You know what I mean? That was rough. You know, I've been doing comedy for about 4 years now, and my comedy buddies have been promising to get me laid. So every time we have a comedy show, I never know if tonight might be the night, you know. But I know I'll get laid again. I've been on the internet. You know, amputees are a kink now. I call it stumping. I'm not sure what they call it, but so I know ladies think about it. You know, I could be like your morbid curiosity or your rock bottom. You know, I'm a double threat. I'm a double threat kind of guy. You know what I mean? But ladies, if you do think about it, I'm just looking out for you. I want to make sure you're up to date on your tetanus shot. That first load will be a little bit rusty. But, you know, like I said, you know, amputees being a kink, as an amputee, I'm trying to figure it out, you know. So I went out looking to see how the other half lives. You know, I went out looking for legless prostitutes one night. You know, we call them night crawlers. My name is Goldman. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Give it up for Israel, everyone. Yeah. We played rock, paper, scissors 6 times, and I won every single time. Guy scares the shit out of me. The new Epstein list came out, and Santa was on it. I have a problem with that, but your next comedian and your last comedian has absolutely no issue with that. Give it up for Jeffery Guill.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second.
I miss the old Kanye. Didn't care about a big booty bitch Kanye. I don't remember which album that was, but how's everyone doing tonight? Everyone having a good time? Yeah, we're about to close out 2024 here. It's been rough, hasn't it? Right, speaking of Epstein list, I'm the wrong Jeffery, by the way. My name is spelled Jeffery, not R-E-Y. I'm not the fucking giraffe. I'm not Jeffery from The Ringer. Every time someone would tell me, my name is Jeff, when I was a server, I'd walk away, fuck you. That's why I changed it to Jefe. which Jeff refuses to call me, even though we played rock, paper, scissors for it 6 times, and I beat him every fucking time for it. He takes the crown. So, a little bit about myself, first off. Actually, no, pause. We're going to do a toast, because the year's closing out. It's been a good year. Right. I've been working on random ass toast all day. My roommates are tired of it. They're like, I cannot drink this many volunteer shots. Please make up your mind. So I think I came up with one. All right. Let's raise our glasses. Oh. To good health and good faith. May she swallow and never spit it in your face. If I find her, I will marry her. Oh, man. Epstein list. How about Diddy, though? Right? The black Epstein, Diddy? Did he do it? All that bullshit that you've been seeing? Like, everyone's acting surprised. Like, I'm not, though, because what grown-ass straight man says, yeah, I'm a bad boy? That should have been a fucking sign. You know? And then I did some research, found out he originally was going to name his record company Bad Boy Who Needs a Spanking Records. But they're like, no Diddy. And, you know, I brought this up to a relative of mine. And I was like, man, it's crazy how Diddy's like the Black Epstein. He's like, Diddy didn't fuck those kids. Like, what do you mean? He's like, he did all that freaky shit with the baby oil with consenting adults. He did not fuck none of those kids. And like, I had to take a second and pause and like rack my brain. Like, did he fuck kids? And then I'm like, well, Justin Bieber was 14. Fuck Bieber, I guess? And he's like, nah, Justin wanted that. Best believe. Needless to say, his wife is a Bieber fan, always has been, and they're getting a divorce. Yeah, I don't blame her though. I'm a believer. Oh God, it's fuck. What else is going on in the world?
He's got his own hair going on now.
Oh God, it's so much. UFOs coming from the ocean.
What?
That like, does this? I fucking thank you. I agree, dude. That's why I don't go to Panama City Beach anymore. I don't fucking get in the water. I don't swim there anymore. I'm like, nah, dolphins were trying to rape me. Now UFOs are trying to fly up my ass. I'm good. I'm fucking good. A little bit about me now that you're probably wondering why a 250-pound tattoo dude who doesn't look like he's 250 pounds is on stage trying to tell you jokes. I'll tell you why. Trauma. I grew up in a military family. My dad was in security forces. He just retired last year. I'm 34, so I'll let you all do the math. 33 years, you know, in the military. So I grew up with a very strict father, the type that I got grounded for having peach fuzz on my face when I was 14, and it took me till 27 to even grow this fucking mustache. I don't know what the fuck he saw there. So to get back at my dad, I became very good at sneaking around, which is why I scare my roommates sometimes, because they expect me to fucking stomp because I'm an ogre, but I'm like tiptoeing and shit. Because I used to sneak down to my dad's pantry and eat his fucking Fig Newtons one by one. I don't even fucking like Fig Newtons. Oh, fuck you, Dad. Like, I'm grounded. You gonna fucking take my PSP that I mowed so many fucking lawns for? My brother was smarter, though. He replaced his PSP with a broke one that his friend gave him from school and never told me, and just played it in his room. And we're not very close anymore, to be honest with you. I feel betrayed. It's like, you couldn't have fucking got me one, dude. Like, shit. Where's the brotherly love, you know? I get pissed off at sitcoms, actually, when there's bad brothers. Have you all seen The Gentleman? Not the Matthew McConaughey one, the TV show. It's got a British guy in it. It's pretty good. If not, check it out. It's pretty good. Oh, the brother, not to spoil too much, because I'm not one of those people who put it on Facebook. The brother's a dickhead, dude. He's like, I don't care if I got 10 million, I'm not going to help my brother at all. And I'm like, I used to split my fucking ramen with my brother, dude. And you can't give him like $1 million? Like, what selfish shit is that? And then I'm like, oh, wait, a white dude wrote this story. That's believable. Okay, it's English. They're fucking English. They still, they steal everything, every culture. That's why if you go to a museum, there's never like a thing of field peas and mashed potatoes as an art display. You're just like, oh, this African culture shit's really cool. Where's the white people shit? I'll tell you where it is. It's in the mountains of Caucasus. If you don't know what I mean, research it. That was a rant. That was actually a riff. That was not any of my fucking material, and my friends know that. They actually are like, damn, Jeff is too drunk. That's a lie. I'm really high. I'm just playing. I take my job seriously. I do this sober. So 2 things I want to talk about before I get off this fucking stage and you guys go drink and have a good time and we celebrate the new year. We don't think about the aliens coming out of the water and Diddy being fucking weird. Say what?
We're here to do good things. Why do we assume they're scared?
Dude, I need it, but hang on. What did you say? Oh, fuck. Dude, I am going deaf as shit. Holy. I need to schedule an appointment with the VA. Holy crap. What's wrong with you? Everything. Why? You. Why? Because you're mean. Why? I go to therapy. I don't fucking know. I don't know. So, fun fact, I lived in Florida the last fucking 8 years before I moved here. So I'm technically transitioning into a Texan. I heard if you get to your 5-year mark, they give you a cowboy hat. I'm at 4. I'll get a beanie. That's what will happen. And so, damn it, Anthony, let me talk. God damn, I love you, bro, but shit. Oh, God. This is what we do at the house, too. I'll be pitching him a fucking movie plot. He'll be like, what if she was a bodacious babe? And I'm like, I don't even know what that fucking word means, dude. But anyways, okay, I'm from Florida. The land of, not real Florida, Panama City, Florida. This guy knows. He's like, oh, fuck. Yeah, it's the land of meth, gators, and methed out gators. Seen it all. Women won't date you unless you got 3 felonies and 4 baby mamas who ain't shit. The ain't shit part is very important in that scenario. I've had a woman write me and tell me she's had 7 abortions. And I don't know if she was trying to make me hard, trying to make me soft, but I finished and I said baby graveyard. It was terrible. Her name's Ashlyn. She has 8 Facebooks. Don't look her up. I won't tell you her last name for legal reasons. But any girl named Ashlyn's probably crazy. I'm just going to be honest. I met the Ashleys, but the Ashlyns are worse. All right, where was I going with that? Where I was going with that is when I lived in Florida, after I got out of the military, I worked at a Chinese restaurant, a Chinese buffet actually, called Chow Time. I will say their name for legal reasons. Fuck you, Chow Time. They were taxing me New York rate at 12% when I lived in Florida, and when I asked why, they said, take 4 days off. And I was like, vacation pay? And like, no, take 4 days off. And I'm like, okay. What's that mean? So Chow Time was a great place for legal reasons. And being the white guy I am, I want to know like other languages. Like I learned yo me quito los pantalones si tú me das dinero. In Spanish, that means if you take off your pants, I will give you money. Though they always laugh when I say that. I think it's wrong, but whatever. So I wanted to learn how to say like some Chinese shit, guys. I was like, yo, candy. In hindsight, this is very bad now that I think about it. Candy, what are some words I can know in Chinese? And she's like, well, let me tell you, Jeffery. Dao Shang Hao, how are you? Ni Hama, how is your day? Shishi, good. Bu Hao, bad. I'm like, oh, Bu Hao, I hear that at the nail salon when I go with my ex-girlfriend. I don't know. It was Florida. I didn't have felonies, and I didn't have 4 baby mamas who ain't shit, so it's probably just my turn. And I was like, all right, that's cool. How do you say what's up in Chinese? And she's like, oh, that's my favorite word. What? And by the way, I'm not making up her accent. This is how she fucking talked, okay? I'm not being racist. Like, this is legitimately how Candy sounded. Like, if I was doing Jason Hester's voice, I would do, hi, my name is Jason Hester, right? Like, I get it. So, let me rephrase this. Candy told me that what's up in Chinese was wa sa nu ne. Say it with me.
What?
Thank you, Anthony. You're unshunned. So I went around a whole week to the whole Chinese restaurant, and I was like, yo, Bong Li, what's up, new nay? Jimmy, what's up, Nune? Greg, what's up, Nune? Right, and I was feeling good. Everyone was laughing, having a good time. Oh, having a fucking great time. And this went on for about a week, and then Big Chen came in. The thing about Chinese people is when they say Big Chen, I look up, but really I gotta look down, because Big Chen is actually Little Chen, and Little Chen is Big Chen. I don't know if that's confusion or just to fuck with me. So Big Chen comes in, oh, yo, Big Chen. He's like, I'm down here. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, dog? And he goes, I heard you know Chinese. And I'm like, yo, this is my fucking moment to get my 14-cent raise. Like, this is my moment to shine. Let's make him proud. I was like, yeah, Big Chen, I know Chinese. I learned Da Shang Kao, Ni Hao Ma, Xi Xi, Bu Hao. And he's all, Bu Hao, my favorite. No good, like you. And I'm like, and then I hit him with that Wasa Nune. I was like, Wasa Nune. You guys ever have a proud parent like look at you and then stop and go, what the fuck? I'm asking because I've never had a proud parent. Anyone? No? Okay, cool. We're in the same boat. Let's row it. He's like, who taught you Wasa Nune? And I ain't no snitch, guys, but I could tell from facial expressions that he was not having it. And I was like, Candy told me Wasa Nune, man, what's up? And he looks at me and he goes, you trust women named Candy? You trust women named Sapphire, Cinnamon, and Mercedes too? I'm like, I know them. How do you know them? And he's like, besides the point, do you know what that means? I started going a little Nigerian there. Let me turn it back. You know what that means? And I was like, yeah, it means what's up. He goes, no. Wasa Nune does not. And I was like, why are you sounding Japanese? He's like, okay, hang on. Wasa Nune no mean what's up? It means fuck you. You know how I said my light bulb's a little dim when I talk about shit? It now made sense as to why everyone in that restaurant was sharpening their knives and like, when I was saying Wasa Nune to them. It wasn't because it was what's up. It was me going around going, hey, Jimmy, fuck you. Hey, Lumley, fuck you. Hey, Craig, fuck you. Yeah. No, Wasa. Bu Hao, Anthony, no Wasa Nune. Shishi. Yo me quito los pantalones si tú me das dinero. You know? That's what I'll say. But where was I going with that fucking joke? Don't trust women named Candy. That's why I don't go to Maximus anymore. And then I'm going to close up this show, which has been great. I'm so happy you guys came out and showed your support. Fuck yeah. If Wichita Falls, or as I like to call it, Wichita Falls, fucking says there's nothing to do, it's because they're on Facebook and they're comparing their lives to other people. Get the fuck outside and touch some grass. Fuck. Or touch some ass even. Holy crap. Like, do that. Fuck yeah. Consensually. I'm not condoning that other shit. But yeah, do that. And with that, I will say this. One of the reasons I changed my name to Jefe is because when I first moved here, and for legal reasons, I will say their name, because fuck you, Waterford Glen. I really hated living there before COVID. I'm sorry. It's just fucking honesty, right? I'm an honest person. Like, when I'm smashing a chick and she goes, are you going to get addicted to this? I just say, maybe. No, I say maybe. I'm like, maybe. That's not the right answer. You don't get a call back. So, Waterford Glen had this problem with pigeons. When I moved here from Florida, you guys got some big fucking pigeons. They must take creatine or something. They're woof. And there was like 3 at my doorstep that was shit all the fucking time. And like maintenance, I would hey, maintenance, it's fucking 6 inches. It's bigger than my dick soft. Like, you gotta stop. That's a lie, obviously. You gotta stop and fucking spray this shit. What does maintenance do? They get a fucking power washer and they spray it under my fucking door. Right? So I Googled if it was legal to kill pigeons in the state of Texas. That's how fucking desperate I got.
And?
It is legal, but you can't fire a gun in an apartment complex. So I had to think outside the fucking box, guys. And remember, I worked in the Chinese restaurants. What do Chinese restaurants have? Chinese dumpster cats. To eat the rats, not the shit you guys were thinking of. I saw some faces, oh, he's not saying that, is he? No, I'm not. It's the rats. It maintains the population. I fucking pushed some prosciutto down. I made sure a fucking Chinese dumpster cat hopped in that bitch, and I fucking boxed it up and threw it in the back of my fuel-efficient Prius. And the goal was that this cat would be hungry, and I'd pop open the box, and he'd fucking kill those pigeons. But I learned that it's important to put holes in boxes. So, second time, I went back to, where did I go? Oh, for legal reasons, I won't say the Chinese restaurant because I still like them. I went and I caught another fucking cat, and this time I made sure I put holes in the box. I got him in the box, and I was like, third time's the charm. I pre-stabbed my holes in the box. I caught the cat. I went as far as to leaving my car on and parking it in my friend's garage so it would fucking be AC'd and ventilated and I could drive it to my apartment the next day. But apparently carbon monoxide poisoning exists in garage cars. So imagine the confusion when the Wichita police showed up and were like, why are there 3 dead fucking pigeons and 3 dead cats and a gun in between them outside your front door? And I just looked at the officers and I was like, shit's for the birds, pussy and shit. I don't know, dude. I work at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know any of this shit. And they let me go. And guys, that's my fucking time. Thank you for listening to me rant. Thanks for coming out and seeing everyone perform. Live it up for your best Gorb. Gorb Gorbinson, Israel Goldman, Brandon DeMoss. I call him DeMoss sometimes to get on his nerves. I love you, Brandon. Don't kill me or arrest me. And Brent Maples, guys. Comedy Parallel, follow us on IG and Facebook. We will be doing a show here at the lab on the 1st of the month called The First Laughs. I promise I won't be on here all the time. We'll actually have some other comedians coming out from different locations and places and really showcase the talent in the city. And I thank you for your time so much. Thank you.